Lovely day.
Yeah.
You know, sat here. It's
Yeah,
very
you've
nice.
not been asked the same question twice so far, I bet.
No, but you know, we're early on, so I haven't gone completely mad going like, oh, I've already
When
said
I got
that.
the early slot, I was like, result, I can use all the cliche questions.
Yeah,
She's
good.
not going to mind.
Perfect. No, it's all fine.
So I went into this with absolutely no idea what was going on, and I
Yeah.
see your character for the first time, and I'm like, okay, what's she doing? And immediately I was struck by the fact that she seems to be in the place that you want the rest of the audience or the rest of the characters to get to. So
that's interesting.
how did you deal with your character arc, and how would you describe your character arc as a result of that?
Oh, God, that's an interesting question. How would I describe... Well, I mean, I think what she believes is that if she can work within the system, she can change the system. And I think what she very quickly finds out is that that's not going to be possible, not in a very short amount of time. Because what she finds out is that even if she can get a seat at the table, getting her voice heard once she's there is going to be really, really difficult without a concerted movement around her. And I think it's that brings her more into the direct action. So I think actually this within the women's lib movement is the conversation that actually is in a lot of protest movements now, which is, does change happen from the inside, or is it direct action from the outside? So her journey, if you like, I think, is from one of believing that it's a quieter movement from the inside to suddenly going, actually, this is direct action from the outside.
You really covered that well. I'm quite surprised.
Oh, no, it was good though. You actually turned my brain on for a second there. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
At the end, I was thinking, please let this be a true story. It must be a true story,
Yeah.
you know, with the Miss World competition and all. And I was so relieved to find that it was, and then that you were playing a character that truly existed and wasn't an amalgamation.
Yeah.
How did she impact your performance? And I'm assuming that you
I mean,
you
it was
spoke
just,
to her.
it felt like a great privilege to be able to sit down with her, you know, because she's such an interesting woman and she's had such an interesting life. So I got a couple of hours before we started shooting, just having a conversation of trying to hear the story from her point of view. And also, you know, I sort of said, okay, so what books were you reading at the time? What were you influenced by at the time? So she gave me a reading list. I didn't get through them all, you know, about this big, Marx and, you know, the Communist Manifesto and all of this kind of amazing, interesting stuff. So, you know, I think it was just, again, you're playing this person, it's about getting their point of view as true as you can. And with Sally, again, her point of view is very clear. So it felt like a privilege to spend time grappling with this conversation that I think this whole film is about.
Okay. The shot where the contestants turn around and show their rear sides, I was quite struck by how shocking that was.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a middle-aged white guy, so I'm not really best placed to comment on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Ordinarily, I'd see that and be like, "Great."
Yeah.
In that context, I was like, "Do you know what? This is terrible stuff.
Yeah.
This is terrible TV, and it's shocking that this went on and still goes on.
Yeah.
Like today, right?
It has 900 million viewers today.
That many?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean,
And it was 100 million at the time. So at the time, it was the biggest TV event of the year. It was bigger than the World Cup and the Olympics. Yeah.
And we're in a time now where, for a lot of us, that's becoming unacceptable as entertainment. And yet, you know, we've got a US president who's got his own stories to tell about how he's behaved in Miss World competitions.
Yeah.
Feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Well, I think what I was really interested in, I mean, like I said, it still has this huge, it's still huge. You know, so as much as this film is set in 1970, we're still having exactly the same conversation now, because ultimately it's the conversation of feminism and the intersection with racism, you know, and that's what they're grappling. From one point of view, you say this is obvious sexual objectification of women, this is like a cattle market, which is true. And from the other side, women are saying this is giving me an opportunity to see the world, to get into different fields, to create a platform and to show diversity of beauty. You know, I think the point that I've forgotten Gugu's character's name in it, Jennifer, makes in the film, you know, of saying girls of colour will watch this and will know that that they are beautiful because I won. That's a really, really good point. You know, that diversity, it's really important that we see beauty in all of its different forms, not just narrow. But I think it is still very narrow, that kind of form of beauty that is within those beauty pageants. Luckily more diverse than it was, but it still has a way to go, I think.
Yeah, and it helped make what I thought was a brilliantly nuanced film.
Yes, I think so too. So thank you.
Keira, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
And you, thank you.
HeyUGuys, huh?
HeyUGuys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey!